Hello everyone. Welcome to my spiritual sanctuary. My name is Sandra. If this is your first time, I want to say welcome, and if you are returning, I want to say thanks so much for coming back. I really do appreciate it. I appreciate you in the community and for supporting my channel. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do right now. If you're new, even more so you'll get my future videos that come out. And there is a bell on the side on YouTube, and you can click that and be notified of all my future videos that come out, okay? So I'm filming a little different today, as you can tell, because my tripod broke. So it happened today, so I haven't had time to go out and repurchase one. So this is, we're gonna do it this way. I have my camera propped up against a box. So hopefully it won't fall in the midst of my video, but here we are. And so I thought I would have a nature scene because, and fire candles, because we are walking into the summer solstice on the 20th of June 2021 in the northern hemisphere. And that is the lightest day of the year, and it brings us light, so candlelight, all kinds of light, and brings us all kinds of abundance being out in nature. So very fitting with the waterfalls and the candles, and I just painted my entire living room gold. So I am surrounded by gold and I love it. So that is an earth color, and so it's the fire feeds the earth. So this is kind of what I'm going to talk about here tonight, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this subject, but I am going to talk a little bit about the 5 elements in nature. And the topic for today is, are you being creative? Are you in the creative cycle, or are you in the controlling cycle? So that is the question that I have for you, and only you know that answer. But you'll be able to know because of what's happening in your life and what is around you. And if you are living in a creative environment, a positive environment with vibes high, or are you living in an environment that is being controlled and you feel like you have no control, that everything around you is changing and everything is shifting, and maybe things are being taken away, maybe you're going through some loss, maybe you're going through some grief, and you just feel like you have no control and you just need to let go. That is the controlling cycle. Now, that is based on the 5 elements in nature. We use those in Feng Shui all the time to create space, like I have today here. And we use a lot of different elements in nature, and we also use colors, shapes, and the actual placement of different objects to represent whatever element we want to. Now we're walking into summer. We're walking into the summer element of fire. Okay, so we're just coming out of spring, which is wood element, where everything just begins to grow from winter, and we are moving into the fire element, which wood feeds fire. So we are now being asked by the universe to exemplify our energy, to create action, to get out into the nature and do our activities. So summer is all about outside activities, isn't it? It's all about going outside, swimming, hiking, boating, and doing all those things because the weather is warm, where we have a lot of sun. Now, the reason why you may be going through a controlling cycle right now losing maybe some things in your life that you had before, or things are kind of just being turned upside down, is because we did have that solar eclipse last week on Thursday, if you remember. And that was a darkening of our sun. And that happens when we have this solar eclipse. So even though we can't see it, it does affect us on an energetic level. And at the eclipse season, which we had the lunar eclipse, and that was early in June or the end of May. I can't remember when it exactly was, but then we had the solar eclipse on the 10th. So we have been in the eclipse cycle, which takes things away. It eclipses things from our life that no longer serves us. So if you have found that things are leaving and changing, then you know that it's in your chart. It's in your astrology chart. It's a part of your DNA. It's a part of your destiny. And it's a part of your growth because it's your evolution as a soul. You know that these things are being taken away, not to punish you or to make you sad or to have pain, because they are being born out of a need to have a new beginning of some kind. And maybe that new beginning hasn't come yet, but it is on its way. We are like in the hallway right now of the ending and the new beginning. So Mercury has been retrograde for the last 3 weeks. Everything slows down, right? And we have other planets that are in retrograde, okay, until Tuesday of next week. And then Tuesday of next week, Mercury goes direct. It stations and goes direct, and things will begin to move forward again. So the universe may just be telling you, wait, if things aren't moving as fast as you would like them, it's because Mercury's in retrograde, and there's other planets in retrograde. And it just depends on where that is hitting your natal chart or your chart for the year of how that's affecting you, okay? So just know that everything will change because these are cycles. These are cycles we go through. And the creative cycle is when you're in a really good cycle. So let's say that you have water in your chart. Well, metal would be a good element for you because metal generates water in the 5-element theory. So, and then also just know that we're not in a metal cycle right now. So the fire cycle that we're moving into for summer is all about activity, but it's all about the heart. Okay, so what the universe is asking us, all of us, is to go to our heart. Go to our heart and do the things that you love. Be that person, do those things that you absolutely love this summer. And you will find that'll bring you more joy and more fire element into your life. So if you are an earth sign, and you have a lot of earth in your chart, just know that the fire is going to fuel your earth. So it creates fuel for your earth element, and therefore you have a much greater outlet for everything that you pursue. Things just show up and you are able to create and produce, and you're able to get things out to the world as a result of that, okay? And wood, of course, if you're a wood element person, you have that in your chart, then wood feeds fire. So that would be utilizing a lot of those ideas, because wood is our ideas, it's education, it's teaching, to really grow now in the summer with that fire element. So you're utilizing that wood energy to really grow the fire. And now is the time after Mercury retrograde to go out into the world and really make that action, because it'll be time. So let me just briefly go through the 5 elements. I just went over it a little bit just so you can have a little bit of an understanding. It is based on Chinese medicine. And it is based on acupuncture, acupressure, and also Feng Shui utilizes it. It's based on the Tao. These are ancient principles that have been handed down, and it is pretty much what everything is made out of. Our Chinese astrology that I do is based on the 5 elements in nature when we look at your chart, and healing can be done with the traditional Chinese medicine with the 5 elements as well. So it's helpful to know the creative cycle and the controlling cycle if you are having any health issues, or you're trying to create something in your life and you're in a controlling cycle. It's not going to happen no matter what you do. So you ride it out, you wait, and you do other things that are more conducive to that cycle. And that's what the astrology, the Chinese astrology, tells us, is how to work within those cycles and to our highest good. So let's start. I'll start with fire because that's summer, and fire, like I said, creates earth, because what happens when you burn fire, it turns to ash, it creates more earth. All right, and so then we look at earth. What does it create? Earth creates metal. Metal grows in the earth, right? And metal creates water, as in condensation. So you see sometimes water droplets on a piece of metal because it's been condensated. So we have water, and then water feeds our wood, okay, and makes it grow. So that would be the creative cycle, okay? Now, when we look at the controlling cycle, it would be just the opposite way. So when we have fire on wood, what happens? It burns up the wood. It controls it. It takes it away, right? And then wood, we have wood, too much wood on water, what happens? It absorbs the water, it takes it away. So too much wood will take away the water, right? What happens when we have too much water on metal? It corrodes, it rusts, it takes the metal away, it breaks it down. So that's the controlling cycle, right? And then what happens when we have too much metal in earth? It takes over the earth and makes it just completely non-penetratable, you know, destructive. Metal is destructive to the earth, right? And then last but not least, we have earth on fire. What happens when we throw dirt on a fire to douse it out? It puts it out. So that is the controlling cycle. And so you may want to get a reading, you may want to get a session just to see what cycle you're in right now. And if it's a creative cycle or if it's a controlling cycle. And these cycles, they can last, you know, as long as they last. They can be they can happen within a day, because every day we have a different element that comes up. So it can happen every hour, each day, and each month, each year, and then it's overlaid onto our charts. And that determines how our life is showing up. And what is in our DNA is the 5 elements as well. We are made out of these 5 elements. So these 5 elements comprise us in traditional Chinese medicine. And so when an acupuncturist or an acupressurist, when they work on the body, they're looking for what elements need to be decreased and which ones need to be increased to eliminate disease and illnesses, cold, hot, all of those things. So very simplistic, but it's very complicated at the same time. I could do a whole 8-hour class on the 5 elements, and over time it's there's just a lot to know about it. But basically, in a nutshell, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the summer element, the fire element, and how it is equating to the heart, right? And also the small and large intestine. So the small and large intestine is also known to be the other brain. And so you want to make sure that your digestion is proper during the summertime as well. So you're not having any gut issues or stomach issues or digestive issues. So it would be really helpful to work on that with probiotics and those kinds of things, because those are also the fire element, and as well as the heart. But on the heart level, I just work on your heart chakra this summer and bring all those activities into your life. Keep active. It is a Yang month coming up. We're moving into Cancer season on the 20th. And that's all about home and hearth and family and getting together. And after all this COVID that we've all been isolated, it's going to be great to get together again with everyone, as some places already are. So focus on your home, your hearth, your family, and activities, and spend time in relationship. Okay, spend time doing those things that you haven't been able to do for the last year because we've been in COVID. But most importantly, stay happy and stay in your heart during this summer element season, okay? So if you don't have my email newsletter, I wrote a lot about the fire element. I did take an excerpt from my book, Unlocking the Grief Code. So if you are experiencing grief, then email me and I'll send you an ebook version of my book. And also there's a lot of information on there on what to do to heal your divine physical body if you're having any ailments. So I would highly recommend getting the newsletter if you're not already on my mailing list. The link is below, or you can go to my email, or you can go to my website, myspiritualsanctuary.com, and put your name and email in there, and I'll be notified. Or you can just email me at myspiritualsanctuaryinfo@gmail.com and tell me what you need, and I'll get right back with you. So I am available for these Chinese astrology readings if you would like to get deeper with that, and also Feng Shui for your home, because we're moving into Cancer season. So just email me and we'll get you set up. All right, so until next Friday, I want to wish everybody a wonderful solstice coming up, and stay high vibe and in the light, because it is the lightest day of the year, and that means we all can shine brightly. So until we meet again, my friends, namaste.